All right, welcome back to the KnivesFAST channel, and today we have a review of a very interesting knife that comes by way of the Apex Pass-Around group from Bestech Knives. So say hi to Ren and Stimpy and Powdered Toast Man and Log and TV, and let's get started. This is a very unique knife called the Bestech Lizard, and you should be able to very easily see why this is called the Lizard, because it looks like a lizard. So this is a very interesting knife. I will stop short of calling it a novelty knife because I do think, matter of fact, let's start with that, okay? So it is a tool. I mean, it is usable. It is definitely able to, whoops. Now look, I just did this off camera. Okay, there we go. That was just me. It is definitely a great cutter, guys. I mean, this thing is not an especially thin blade, but it is definitely a good EDC cutting knife. But there's some things about it that make it very interesting. And by the way, this is in the Bestech budget line, the BG39B, the Lizard. And this is about $52 as best I can see. Now, I've seen them at White Mountain Knives, and I've seen them at Blade HQ. Now, this particular one, the only place I've been able to find this is orange and green G10. And the best I can think, this is made to look sort of like copper, either that or like a lizard. I'm not sure. This one is out of stock at Blade HQ. Now, White Mountain has an orange G10 with a black blade, and I think a jade G10 with a black blade, and they're all the same price. It's a really interesting knife. And again, there is that textured G10, chamfered on the edges, kind of textured there as well. It is a little bit where it kind of cups back up here. It is a little bit sharp right there, but not aggravating to the hand. You do have a G10 back spacer as well. No lanyard, sorry. We'll get to the pocket clip. The pivot the collar does stick up a little bit, and you have that Bestech on this side. As far as billboarding on the blade, you have the Bestech logo. It's a little dirty there, Bestech on this side. Can't read underneath there. Knives. Oh, Bestech Knives. D2 blade steel. Wow. A little bit of oil sitting there, but again, very interesting blade shape. I don't even know. Let's see. What do they call this guy? It is obviously a liner lock. So let's see what it says. The blade style. Sheep's foot. Okay. Yeah. If you just get rid of this little rhino horn looking thing here, you can see the sheep's foot there. It does have a really interesting thumb ramp there. So the jimping's way back here. So as I always say, needless, useless jimping because your thumb goes up here. Now, if you're all the way back here, maybe your thumb is here, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm not fond of a three-finger knife, so I'll be up here. You can also come up here if you want, just to get a little more on that push cut. Now, it is fairly thin, but it's not super thin. But as you could see, it's very slicey. This is a flat grind on that blade, and it is a super interesting knife. Now, let's talk about the things that really make this one a little bit hard for me. It's really, guys, this is the blade width at the widest point is the handle width is 1.375 inches. So it is a thick guy. For an example, you guys are familiar with the QSP Penguin. And if we lay those out together, you can see this handle is a much more manageable width, and this one just dwarfs it. Let's see if I can show you. If I put this one, try not to cut yourself. Yeah, I mean, if I line this up with the top, look how much handle is sticking out at the bottom there. So we'll put the Penguin off to the side. It's just a very thick handle. Now, what I would compare it to, ergos-wise, if it wasn't so thick, is this Dragonfly 2 that you guys know I love. So you can see the same swoop of the handle, a similar finger choil, although this one has a flipper tab. But guys, this one is so thin, it just melts into your hand. That one is just a little bit too thick for my hand. Now, as I was saying, that three-finger grip back here, I'm not a fan. I don't like a dangling participle here, or whatever you want to call this finger. I guess I could walk around, cutting like this with my pinky out. Not a fan of that. So I would definitely choke up. Now, when you do that, it has a great amount of room in that finger choil. And now you've got a choil for your second finger, and these guys land perfectly. And it's not so bad. Again, it is very thick, both this dimension and this dimension in your hand. It fills your hand really well. And because of that, this pocket clip does tend to be a bit of a hot spot for me. Again, it's a good pocket clip. It's good retention. It comes in and out of the pocket well. The screws could be recessed, but again, I'm not going to complain because there's plenty of room here underneath. Really good lockup on the liner lock. I call it about 20 to 25. And as far as centering, it is maybe off to the show side just slightly, but not anything to speak of. Now, what I just felt right there, let's see if you can see this. It has a fairly tight detent, guys. That detent is pretty tight. Now, on the flipping, by the way, pretty, the flipper tab sticks out quite a bit, and it's got very good jimping. And let's see, I can't fail it. It makes for a very good detent on the flipper. Now, I will tell you, it middle finger flicks very well for me, but you do have to make sure you get it past that detent. The detent feels tighter that way to me, and I don't know why. It's the leverage, I think, of the flipper tab being so much taller that it doesn't seem quite as tight. But it is a great finger flicking knife once you get past that thumb flick. Yep, great, no problem whatsoever. So again, really cool little knife, but just some issues there. It is 6 inches long overall, 2.625 on the blade length, and the blade thickness is 0.13, which again is great. The handle length is 3.75. And it is, of course, G10 and D2, as I said, and the weight is 4.03 ounces, so just over 4, which I think is good. So again, I think it's a really interesting backup blade, one that you could carry and your friends will go, ooh, a lizard. But it is a working tool, guys. It will cut. It with that utility tip of that sheep's foot, it'll get in there and cut into some packaging or whatever. So it's not, it's not just a novelty. I think it is an actual working knife. It's just, maybe not perfectly for me because it's a little odd in that handle shape. So let me know what you guys think. Maybe you guys love this thing. I hope so because, it's cool. It's not a bad knife. And like I always say, there's a use for every knife out there. I feel very comfortable saying that. So let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up. Guys, if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. And I really appreciate all of you who support the channel on a regular basis. Guys, it's time to wrap up. So thank you so much for watching the Knives Fast channel.